Today, with that housework out of the way, we're going to talk about the role of the program producer in a radio station. Now, the producer we'll talk about today, let's think of a morning show or a breakfast show, say on the ABC. That's my experience. And it's transferable to Triple J at varying levels and to commercial stations. Basically, the program producer is the person who sits outside the studio, usually with a glass screen with a presenter inside. Very often these days you'll walk into a regional radio station and you'll see the producer sitting flat-footed, not doing much. A good producer, it's one of the most exciting jobs in the world. It's the engine room of a radio program. And to see a good producer sometimes watching a ballet, that person, she or he, is on the phone 1 minute, is unloading some information over there, looking at another screen over here, and it's the adrenaline rush of a well-produced, when a producer can spark off a presenter, it's one of the biggest thrills in media for it to work, and that comes through. That doesn't come through to the listener as a dead program. That comes through as passionate radio, and that just works. So I can't stress too much that the program producer is an important role, and you should see it. I'm not saying you're going to walk into it, as I'm describing now, into any radio station. That's what you should be striving for, and you'll find that it really pays off in listeners. The producer needs a wide range of skills. You've got to be able to edit, you've got to be able to think, you've got to have knowledge about stuff, and I'll explain. Well, you've got to be able to think quickly on your feet. You've got to have good finger skills, whether it's editing up something quickly to feed out, or making quick phone calls, talking people into doing things. You're just doing all sorts of different things in a 2-hour slot. It's good. The presenter is only as good as his or her producer. That's the way it is. A day in the life of a program producer, it's always an early start if you're on mornings, or obviously breakfast even earlier. You come in, you work with the presenter into the radio studio, read the local newspapers, get on the web, read what's on the Australian. Certainly, like in places like Alice Springs where I've worked, and places like that, or you don't get the Australian in the morning, so you've got to check on the website, see what news is breaking around the place. Always looking not so much to copy that story, but to create local links and local references to whatever's happening nationally or internationally, for that matter. You need to be tuned in to what people are talking about. Know what the people out there in the public, when you're in a coffee shop or at the pub or at a meeting of some sort, know what people are talking about. That's what you need to tune in when you're looking for stories and so forth. The morning goes on, you check your pre-records that you may have done, that you've recorded an interview and edited it maybe the day before. Make sure they're ready in the system. ABC, it could be Netia, or whatever system it might be. You make sure they're ready to go. And it's quite likely you'll do 1 or 2 pre-records for the show. That means you duck into a studio that's not being used, and you actually phone somebody up and you record an interview, edit it up to the right length, get rid of any stuff that you don't want in it, and that again goes in ready for the presenter. You talk with the presenter, the lineup for the morning, confirm live interviews. I can't stress that a producer's job, if you just assume that someone's going to be there because you spoke to them the day before yesterday, it doesn't work like that. They've forgotten, they've gone somewhere. So a quick call, if it's mornings, which is after breakfast, wait till 7 o'clock to ring them up, or 7:15, something like that, for a reasonable time. Are you right to talk later on? Yeah, great. I can't stress that. Just continual confirm. Work with the presenter in developing the lineup, as I said. Confirm the studio guests. Hello, Billy Bloggs, are you right to come in at 9:15? Yes, right. Think about every little thing that can go wrong and fix it, knowing full well that things are going to go wrong anyway, because it does. It's just a fact of life. And of course, the bottom line is you drink a lot of coffee. Got to keep that adrenaline going. Once it starts, always watch and be in tune with the presenter. And this is one of the things I can't understand that you see so often in some regional radio stations. You'll see the producer sort of wafting about. He's got to be in tune, listening, and at the same time welcoming studio guests. Nothing worse as a studio guest. They're giving your time, just walking in and what do I do now? Oh, hi, yes, we'll be on in a minute, sit down. You can make yourself a cup of coffee, whatever like that, but you've got to be doing this while you're doing other things, Sometimes the program needs to be recorded. It's always recorded, of course. in the log tape, but sometimes you need to be recorded into the system Netty or wherever it is for replaying or for news people or something like that. So just make sure whatever that's you, make sure that that's happening, the recording's happening. You get on the phone interviews organised, you ring them up, just a few minutes before they're needed. As you're in tune with the presenter, you ring them up, welcome them, put them on hold, and one thing after the interview, thank them. Even if they get cut off by the presenter, ring them back and thank them. There's nothing worse than because the presenter has to leave them in the air. That's the way it is, because he's going to or she's going to go on with something else. You ring them back and thank them. These people are giving you their time, and it's only fair that you ring back, say thank you, and they're going to be there for you next time when you need them. When there is particularly in the first half hour, if there's some interviews about topical, maybe political stuff, listen to the interview going to air, and your communication is in two ways. You can type through to the screen to the presenter, or you can talk through audio comms. Typing is far preferable. Everyone's got their own preferences, but mostly typing is far preferable. So if you've been following this particular issue and you know a question that could be of interest, you type that in. Whether the presenter uses it or not, it's another thing, but you type it in. You support the presenter, so he or she is doing the interview, reading the screen. They can use those questions. So it's a two-person, two heads better than one, that old adage. If something sort of outrageous or challenging is said, the producer needs to be quick to chase a balanced view. So even before the presenter needs to think about it, could be ringing up so-and-so and then say, I've got, for a balanced view, I've got the Labor Party person on the line. You want to speak to him or her? Yeah, fine. Just again, it's that bouncing and being totally in tune with the radio program. And as I said, organising your guests, also remember to let the presenter know when your guest comes in, let them know that Billy Bloggs is there waiting, because the presenter needs to know all this stuff too. If there's talkback in the program, the presenter he'll know or she'll know all about the dump tapes, the dump button. You don't have to worry about that, but what you do need to do is screen callers. It's a bit of a skill that you get after a while. Find out what they're talking about, put them on hold. Again, you just type their name and a brief comment about them, just very brief, on the screen and with the line number they're on, so that the presenter can choose and take which one she or he might need. And as I said before, there's a lot of adrenaline in a good show going to air, and quite often a lot of adrenaline means a very good show, good passionate radio, and it's something that we don't see enough of these days. Thank you.